Hello and welcome to this new video. In the previous videos, we implemented the team management system on a dedicated server. In this video, I want to show you how you can use the Easy OSS plugin to create and use a voice chat on a dedicated server. Remember that a dedicated session does not offer a voice chat like a lobby session. It should be noted that the use of the plugin's voice chat features only works if the target OSS supports and offers a voice chat service. It should also be noted that the plugin implements the online interfaces of Unreal Engine. Regarding the voice chat interface, Unreal Engine does not have a function that is used to create a voice chat, because the process of creating a voice chat is not the same for each target OSS. On the other hand, the interface offers you the possibility to connect the client to the voice chat created and then manage and control the voice chat on the client side. For this, the features offered by the plugin concerning the creation of a voice chat are added values that Unreal Engine does not offer. You need to know the difference between a voice chat lobby and a dedicated server voice chat. In the case of EOS OSS, it is the OSS that creates and connects the lobby clients automatically to the voice chat if the box, use lobby voice chat if available, is checked when creating the lobby session. Normally it's the same for other OSS supporting a voice chat lobby. On the other hand, in the case of a dedicated server, the dedicated session does not offer a voice chat service automatically. So, it is up to you to create and connect the clients to a voice chat room. There, each OSS has its own SDK to create the voice chat. In the case of EOS, Easy OSS offers you the possibility to create a voice chat room. If you target another OSS and the plugin does not offer you this functionality, it is up to you to implement your need in C++ according to the support provided by the target OSS. Go to your master player controller. This is where I want to implement the client authentication process to the voice server, as well as the join and leave processes of a voice chat room. In the Easy OSS category, in the voice chat subcategory, you will find all the plugin features that you can use to interact with a voice chat. Note that these features are common for all OSS unless the feature specifies that it is specific to a dedicated OSS. For example, the task Get Voice Chat Room Credentials specifies in parentheses that it is dedicated to EOS OSS only. It is this task which is used to create a voice chat room on the EOS backend. This is the missing part in the Unreal Engine voice chat interface. Actually, the client needs a room credentials so that he can join the room. Each OSS has its own SDK and its own implementation which is used to return the credentials required to join the client to the voice chat room. In the case of EOS OSS, this task creates the room if it does not exist and returns the credentials to the client. If the room already exists, then the task is used to return the credentials only. I don't want to leave this task there, it was just to show you the limitation of the voice chat interface. We will use this task later. The first thing we will implement is the login process to the voice server. Very important, it should be noted that the authentication of a client to the voice server is independent of the authentication to the OSS. The voice chat interface of Unreal Engine identifies the participants of a room by a voice chat user. We will need this voice chat user throughout this tutorial. So create a custom event that runs on the client and is used to log the client into the voice server. Call the Easy OSS task, Login OSS player to voice server. This task is used to create a voice chat user according to the parameters provided, and it returns a structure representing a voice chat user. This task does 3 steps. In it, the voice chat interface, connect to the voice server, finally create and connect the user to the voice server. Note that the connection to the voice server is done automatically according to the configuration of the project. So you must put the correct configuration in your default engine.ini file according to the OSS used. We will see that later. Also, an important note, the EOS OSS voice chat identifies voice chat users by their product user ID. The player name provided to this task must therefore be the product user ID of the player. If you give another name, the process will still work, but you will not be able to use all the features of the interface, such as muting a participant in a room. The voice chat user structure returned by the task is not blueprintable because it contains pointers to classes that cannot be called in Blueprint. You just need to keep this structure once the login process is finished to be able to use it later. To allow the player to join a voice chat room, call the Easy OSS task, Join OSS Voice Chat Room. Note that a client can join more than one room. This task takes as parameters the voice chat user, the voice chat room name to join, the room credentials, and the room type. Same, create a custom event that runs on the client, and which is used to join a voice chat room. The room types to join are non-positional. It means that the room does not take into account the position of the player in the game. On the other hand, the positional room takes into account the position of the player in the game. In this case, you must configure the 3D properties when joining. These types of rooms are useful if you want to create a general voice chat room for all players, but the player cannot hear the other participants if he is far away. In our case of EOS OSS, this feature is not yet supported. Finally, we have the echo type. It is useful for testing. For example, if you want to test the game with a single player, when this player speaks, he hears his own voice. To facilitate the identification of a voice chat room, I will create a structure representing a voice chat room. This allows us to access the information of a room easily. So go to the Common Data Type folder and add a folder, then name it Voice Chat. In this folder, create a blueprint structure, then open it. Add a string representing the name of the room. Add a room credentials type structure. Add an enum of type voice chat room type. Add a structure of type voice chat room 3D properties. Select the Join Voice Chat Room event, then add an input of type voice chat room structure that we just created. Now connect the corresponding pins. Display an error message if the join process fails. Add a custom event that runs on the client and is used to leave the room. To leave a room, call the easy OSS task, Leave OSS Voice Chat Room. This task takes as parameters the voice chat user requesting to leave room and the room name to leave. To avoid errors, we must verify that the voice chat user is already a member of this room before proceeding to the leave process. In any case, the plugin logs the errors and avoids the editor crashing, but it remains good practice. The Get Voice Chat Rooms node returns you the list of rooms that the user is a member of. This node should not be confused with the Get Voice Chat Room Players node, which returns the list of participants in a room. If the room name is not found in the list, it means that the user is not a member of this room, and in this case, it is useless to proceed with the leave process. Display an error message if the task fails. Same for the join case. We should not proceed with the join process if the user is already a member of the room. For this, I want to collapse this implementation into a function that can be used in several places. This function should return true if the room is found, and false otherwise. We therefore proceed to the leave process if the player is a member of the room. Copy these two nodes and paste them before the join task. We proceed to join if the user is not a member of the room. Now add a custom event that is used to log out the user from the voice server. This event must also run on the client. For voice server logout, call the task logout OSS player from voice server. To avoid errors, we do not proceed to the logout process if the user is not logged in. So call the node is voice chat user logged in. Display an error message if the task fails. We must call the node voice chat release player. This node allows the voice chat interface to allocate a new user once the current user is logged out. It is not very useful if you want to use only one user per player, but it is still a good practice. Be careful, this node must be placed before the task because it requires a logged-in user. There I did something stupid and I put it once the logout process is finished. With this implementation, my editor risks crashing. I will fix that later. We must check that the user is not logged in before proceeding with the login process. This is also to avoid errors. Also, we should not proceed with the join and leave processes if the user is not logged in. I want to add an event dispatcher that fires when the login process finishes. I want to categorize the dispatcher events because we are starting to have a lot of events. This allows us to identify them easily. Add a parameter to the created event so that it returns the logged-in user. Trigger the event once the login process is complete. I will do the same for the join process. I want to pass the room name as a parameter when this event is triggered. Trigger the event once the join process is complete. I want to do the same for the leave process. Finally, the same thing for the logout process. We must now add functions in the master player controller interface which are used to call the custom events that we have created. This is useful if we want to call these functionalities from another object like the game mode. First, I want to categorize the existing functions. Add a function for the login process. Add the corresponding inputs. Implement the function by calling the custom event. We will do the same for the join event. Add the corresponding input. It will be a voice chat room type structure. Implement the function. We do the same for the leave event. And finally, the logout event. Our master player controller is now ready. We will go to the child player controller to call the login process. So go to the World 2 player controller. This is the controller on which we test our game on a dedicated server. I want to call the login process on the event begin play. Normally in a real game, the login to the voice server should be done automatically by the game once the player starts the match. Unless you want to allow the player to do it from a UI. It finally depends on your plan. So call the interface function to start the login process. You can also call the custom event directly since the master player controller shares its events with child classes. I draw your attention again that the player name must be the product user ID in the case of EOS OSS. For other OSS, you need to know how the voice server identifies the participants. For credentials, it's optional for EOS. I'll leave it blank. For the login process to work with EOS, we need to configure our project. Basically, the login process needs to know the voice server according to the configuration provided. Make sure the EOS voice chat plugin is enabled. EOS uses this plugin to integrate the voice chat service into the game. In the project settings, go to the online subsystem EOS configuration. Basically, we want to copy the artifacts from the trusted server to provide them to the EOS voice chat plugin configuration. Open the default engine.ini file to configure the plugin. You find this configuration in the description of the video. Now we need to copy the artifact from the trusted server, so the EOS voice chat plugin will have the information about the voice server, and so the login process automatically connects the voice interface to the voice server. For other OSS, you need to read their support to know how to configure the OSS to use the voice chat service. Don't forget to pass the correct artifact when you go into production. When finished, save and close the file. Now launch a dedicated server instance and a client instance to test the login process. Normally the login process worked well because I don't have an error message displayed indicating that the login failed. We will check the logs. And there you have it. You should see these 3 lines of easy OSS log indicating that the login went well. The first line indicates that the initialization went well. The second indicates that the connection to the voice server went well. Finally, the third indicates that the user is logged in. Otherwise, check your configuration in the default engine.ini file. If you do not pass the right artifact, the voice chat interface will not be able to connect to the voice server and therefore the process will fail. That's all for this video. See you in the next one.